Please tell us your name.
Geshe Karina
Chime Dorjee.
Chime Dorjee.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama asked us to record your experiences so that we can share your memories with many generations of Tibetans, the Chinese, and the rest of the world. Your memories will help us to document the true history, culture, and beliefs of the Tibetan people. Do you give your permission for the Tibet Oral History Project to use this interview?
아니 Geshe konsa kyanggun chimbu chogi kagong shin anzugi gerab tsu mitsi nyamnyong logyu dunzu danju shugi yore ane logyu dunzu pemi mira mangbo thang gyari and zamling mimang la donya gi chedore and logyu dunzu na ne pyogi gerab thang rishun and pemi tsu yiche nguyu kari yeme de kodo yungu yore and tarin pyogi ngagun gerab legu la tiwatile nangba de peju tangya gi katu nangi yoro. Yes, of course.
Thank you for offering to share your story with us. During this interview, if you wish to take a break or stop at any time, please let me know. If you do not wish to answer a question or talk about something, please let me know.
다른데 루규 숨바들라 투지치 슈야이 엔 티와틸레 낭베캅레야 기슬라 까고야다 잠샤고야 딘데 두나 아니 숨로나 야 티와 카실라 기슬라 랭견데 메베이나 엔 마견네 디기요레.
If this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would this be a problem for you?
케시 다른 티와틸레 낭바디 푀다 갸나드바 템베이나 엔 기슬라 강이 가리요나.
저조지 말해.
No.
We are honored to record your story and appreciate your participation in this project. Geshe-la, can you please tell me how old you are and where you were born?
Geshe-la konglo khatsoyina.
나 너지 대지래.
아니 총사기 총유디.
트위 콩 간지래.
I'm 78 years old now, and I was born in Karzai in Kham.
In Kham. And what kind of work did your family do?
Geshe-lagi nangmitso Geshe-lagi ma pyola shudu chunju kable nangmi chale khare nangi yuna.
강가 심바래 심하시한데요.
They were farmers.
They were farmers. And what kind of things did your family grow on the farm?
신간나 카레카레 답기요나.
신간 돈네 세마서 딱지. 제마서.
So they grew 3 types of crops: wheat, barley, and peas.
And what level of socio-economic income was your family? Were they very poor or middle class or very wealthy?
Geshe-lagi payunanglarwa, Geshe-lagi nangchangyorwa, di jizo nanglia gyuchoga nangla rele dinga re kyo changla ina.
dinga nashire. 치아지 말을.
We were not among the rich, but we were middle class.
Middle class. How many people were in your family, Geshe-la, and where were you in that order?
Geshe-lagi nanglia Geshe-la chunju imbe kableya nangmi khazusiyona.
미 봄무서도 봄무서 이제도 번이 주세요.
아니 Geshe-la pugu dunjunane.
네 빠들. 네 아마 아저씨요.
So there were 4 daughters and 2 sons, 6 children, and I was the second child. There was an older sister, and I was the second.
And was there a monastery near your village? And what was the name of it?
Geshe-la chongset di tileya gomba chazang yona.
간지게마 코르티를. 간지게마 틸.
We lived near the Karze Monastery.
Can you tell me what the monastery was like and how many monks lived there? Was it a large or small one?
Karze gomba di Geshe-la chijung kande ina ani chaba khazus yodo.
텔라 엄마 다시진이 같이라 자수 써서요. 자수서 생이 자수지든 아빠 자수 너지 자수선 자수 써지. 잡아 뚱타 니 써져요. 이제 뚱타 써지. 아주 소충모래.
It was a very large monastery, and there were 3 tatsang, 3 divisions. there was the Tsinyi Chachang, Ngakpa Chachang, Namgye Chachang, and there were about 3,000 monks.
And the monks that live there in Kham, in this Karze Monastery, were they all from the local area, or did they come from regions all over Tibet to this monastery?
다 간지 건배나리야 잡아동라 숨지어로 하기
라제
잡아동라 숨디 간지 야윤의 용교를 야지 표사적 셴반의 레교이나
룸바 드라마다 단지마리 레즈 로사가 되게 룸바는 레즈
so they came from different villages about a day's journey from the monastery.
Did your family, or how often did your family go to the monastery, and for what reasons did they go?
기슬라기 남미초 고베나라 양시페기 요죠.
다 야투지스나 tindir 지간도 그럴 잡아지야나 정하나 되게 몰라 다 님보들 무슨 나노 사데 게미치를
So we lived very close to the monastery, and my family used to visit on special days like the 8th or the 15th day of the months.
Can you tell for people who maybe don't know anything about Tibet, why was the 8th and the 15th day of Tibet so important?
당한 베베기 꼴라 마싱에 든지 망고 여러와 콘주 제마 든주 시기로와 콘주 된다래야 직 체바게다 체바쩨마 든중간주 가르치니 개 친구 지기요죠.
쇼토가 맞아 잡아나데 냐투지스데 체바쫑아도 다 농고도 체바지야도 디시나츠네 드릴 지인도 그래. 근데요 로치를 초초하나 드리거든. 다 총자니라 드릴 단지 한다고. 너 게모서서 전체 손에 단디 단주량도 드니 전체시 소요로라. 어떤들 니간도 그래.
So yeah, not just the 8th and the 15th, but on also the 30th day of the month, they were considered as festive days, and also there were charm performances and other rituals performed at the monastery, during which time the people went to visit the monastery.
And did you have any relatives at the monastery? And who were they, if you did?
네 곰바 나리아 기슬라리아 양 꿈제 딘데 요나
nga chunchu ko babi pinya diyo allo dije kadiola babi pinya chiyo.
So when I was about 7 to 8 years old, and paternal uncle was there at the monastery.
And how did the monastery get its supplies or its food to feed that many monks? There were
3,000.
Yes, 2,000 monks. How did they get enough food for those people?
That 타자나 곰베 나리아 잡아동라 숨지어로 하기서 that 잡아동라 숨래야 아니 셸라 든주 칸데스 치기요나.
데 컬러 모아서 다저 배는 다 좀바도 마마도 싶어 사기가 많아. 되는 소소 다 넣어서 같은 거라 좀 못하네. 개막서 너도 녀소나한테 개막 유도 그래라.
컨델로.
다 투수지 매번한테 어디 개막 유 실라도 왔어요. 다 자들도 톱반이 되게 막 유도 얼마도 무시다 봐서요. 별로 되는 소소 좀서 그런 거. 마도 좀서
So mainly in Tibet, the food we ate was tsampa and butter, which came from home. But there were, prayer assemblies, during which time the monastery supplied the monks with tea and noodle soup. But we ate pa, which is made from tsampa, and that came from home.
Did the mainly when you said we ate tsampa, was that the monks ate tsampa and it came from home? So did the home supply food for the monastery?
The tsampa chugi is not tabazo chugi yorwa, and tsampa di nangne ligi yorwa. That's right.
So the home provided. Did many children from your village go to the monastery? Many young boys.
아니 기슬라기 총셉 지어와 총셉 디네 곰베 나리아 보고 망보 두그래 곰발라
다티 아이다 맞아 뭐 경만 돼요. 다 가시요 배전돼서 연단 전에라 초초상도 디티나 경만을 안 줘.
다다 파이 곰바 숨고
파이 경바
쇼사 파이 곰발라 쇼
보고 뭐 경만 놓로 돼요. 다 때문에 우주세 마주세가 단디네 마인 다 지투 되어서는 디니라 땡케 뭐 보고 뭐요.
총셉 나라
우주세는 마데 보고 취한다서
잡아이네
잡아이나라.
So most of the young monk students, they lived in the monastery, but there were some that lived in the village too.
Okay. And did you become a monk at any time in your life?
아니 계슬라 아니 잡아 가두 디 페비나.
디 제즈 카드 잡아지오지로 디제 카드라 잡아지오.
So I became a monk when I was about 7 years old.
And was that a decision that your parents made for you? And how did you do you have any recollections of how you felt about going to the monastery at 7?
And 계슬라 공로 되려야 공배 나라 페디가네 타주디 파메 낭이나 잡았어야 타주디.
파미 이라다데 취주고 싶어지 대하시오래. 다 비슷도 맞아. lumba khoro nolo pashi son pashi tabana zo ya gro tabachi ne ta getslu domba da de shwa marte ana gembala method ja tabachi gi method ja ne ne de no de no ayel te ne igel asat ne yo de del hatando.
So and I have not much recollection because my parents decided to make me a monk, and in our region most of the boys that were born became monks, and initially the parents would register at the monastery that their son would become a monk, but they stayed home and they could go to study with people that lived around the village.
Why did parents want to register that their sons were going to be monks?
And pamegi put habasya la mingto 가르치는 겹기 요조스.
잡아지기 센터 소 자산한테 개마줄 자가데 소소 빠비 빈자라보다 아미 빈자가 잡아 용케오나 디지나잖아 그러라.
So the names were registered at the monastery, by sometimes you might have a paternal uncle in the monastery, or sometimes you might have a maternal uncle. So they, took on the job of registering.
I see. Okay. So, what are your earliest memories of the monastery, and did you live there or come home frequently to see your family?
Gisla ta konglo chunju travel thangbu jube kabla rwala ani gombara na la shude na ya nang la yang si phegi yodo
gemban thode jate na no de rel ta ngaso gemba da na tha nyen bo re
ale los
antene para ta no gemba na do de pa bi pinja yo re ta sa de gemba thaba ye pa bi pinja de august ro.
So my name was registered at the monastery, but I stayed home because we were very close to the monastery, and sometimes when I went to the monastery I lived with my paternal uncle who was there.
And was there ever a time in your development as a monk where you went to live permanently in the monastery and not at home?
Engisla khadu ne thuzu chiklarwa engisla nangla chu chige ma phebe che gombarang nangla shuya khadu chungina
shojo lo chuni josu khatul tozi de ma de yo ma ta bela Lhasa ya mag padi magal ta lo chining el kema tos de ar ma nal ro de dar.
So maybe when I was 12 or 13, I stayed at the monastery for some time, but Mainly, like a year or two before I left for Lhasa, till then I was staying home.
Ah, I see. And Geshe-la, why do parents want their sons to become monks?
And pamegi susu puto karjin tabasya deva yonas.
저는 주식을 다 드리나 싶다. 저도 맞아 파일라 로자 깨무시 버려라. 로자 단다 시절이 안 오지고 로자 조사 시험 말어라. 근데 대소디 버터서다 깨만은 이게 나라니라. 이게 뒤에 소다나서 된다면 또 란 보시주 가들. 근데 기계를 게좀 뭐냐네 다 로자 조사 존나면 대소 되는 거든요. 준바노라마 하다세 신이 요마래 배 쪼버래 다 뒤서 다들 빼버려 그래서 어디 다 bakhayi de gemona peja igen de sa chiyo ta rine yusana öyti ti azo yara ta mozo toni lekale a chonju ma ta ta ige yugo ge ta ne chen chajina shin yo mari.
So schools in our region were very rare, and when the boys went to the monastery, they learned to read and write, and there were tutors that had many students, while in the village, there were no schools, and unlike what it is here in this place, so the boys study in school, and while the girls engaged in doing a course at home.
Mm-hmm. And so what happened when you said until I was 12 or 13 and you went to Lhasa? What was that about? What took you to Lhasa?
Kishla konglu chungi joksom spado da nala pa perwa gomba ne nala pa pejin shurwa in dijel yel hasal pere hasal karchiga pena
Lhasa yagdi 다 유시엘 로니시아 체던다고 되는 시도 맞아 파이 게모가 잡아둬서 먼저 파이나서 거기에서 하사와 로마뉴케도서 토토나도 또제 좋아요 하라 하사야 로마뉴케도서 다 하산도 사선더니 어느 기시자 같은도 제자들 때마다 나라 하산도 로스 되는데 다섯 채소는 파이마거디 토토나 치모츠기요 디그래 하사야 똑같대.
The reason for going to Lhasa was to study, and in our local monastery, those monks who have never been to Lhasa are considered a lower, and those who have been to Lhasa and completed their Geshe degree were held in very high esteem. If not, at least you should have been to Lhasa and lived in the great monastery for at least 3 years, and then you returned home, your standing arose.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so, can you tell us about how you got from Kham to Lhasa? What was that journey like, and who went with you?
Ani gisla den Kham ne Lhasa le peberwa di pebe kabla ani lamla gisla rokba su ani lamla khande da wajik chungu
근데 모자 lon가치다 신이요 말어. 진네 수지를 때가더니 dimba지가 다 바이가 때 주마카 먹어도 gem반이 그다 gem바도서 소위 뜻이 쏘나한테 출자네 출 계속 된 거네 다 gem발로 자티도 한다고 다 gem바 포자나 또 저거요. 그래서 그디 된 주마 먹은 거요. 지 바시 시장가자요. 주마카 시장가 주던 주마카를 찌찌던지 용케더니 다치 종아 용케더니 주마카 강소소 다소소 세니라 레게 된디지가다 주마지 짜네가 저동어서 디디가디 다지 먹고 시어래 다 파이를 또지 다 잠이가데 다도도 보치가더니 파마스고 또 용케 강가 보게 디 다소소 다시야도 대 자차기야도 차슈조 존에 디마지도 차라 또 가죠 된지는 가서
ani 총받은 줄 잡아래
gemba chumba gembi chumba.
So there were no motor roads then, and there were many merchants, merchants that belonged to the monasteries, because the main revenue for the monastery was from trade, and there were mules, 400 to 500 mules traveling together with the merchants, with one trader having at least 60 to 70, or some with 10 to 15 mules, and the parents sent their young sons along with this caravan, and at that time the Chinese had already appeared in our region.
Ooh. What was your first sighting of the Chinese in your region, Geshe-la?
Gislagi gyami thangbo gislagi longbena la khadu si na.
Ngati de lo chuni re o sare. Ngama ji kol ma o kuri ji mo sare wala. Tene ko che phan ro sare ji ya re se na ji phama ga. Tene yima ga di ta lo chuni re de ta lo chuni ngo no ju si le ga se de. Tene tine lo chu je pa de jami de chal de wala. Lo chuni ko jami le ga de ta de. Tene lo chu ze ji jami chal la. Ta po chu de de. Lo chu je ko tene Lhasa yo.
So I was about 12 years old then. My parents mentioned that the Chinese came once before my birth, and the next time when I was 12, and for about 6 years we lived side by side, and then when I was 18 I left for Lhasa.
Okay. So the Chinese came once before your birth, and then when you were about 12, so that would have been in like 1948, when you were about 12. And, right?
Gisla konglo chungni skable ya gamile yonar wala. Chikdong gubje shipju shipges chagido.
Otagazi.
Yes, around.
Tanga shiade jidu gaja sanchi songala. Sotul shesa.
Yes, because I think I was born in 1936. Yes.
What was your, when you saw, did you have any reactions when you saw the Chinese? I gather you were at home most of the time. And what did they look like? How did your parents feel about them being there?
Ta gami tangbulero agisla lungbenalaya. En gislagi tunala tsoa do karit lebiona and pamatsugi karisamgi yona.
Pamasota kontre de ducha shibutsenel chalanda saya thiana ta gemon to drama kanga gemona o ne tene zogre gemona o tene nonon danda to sawol ma bin ma to khando se ngama kontre de ta pa chaba jani kanga maka pango zan ro sa ro la kontre ngama gdi ta yima de gda ta teno chegre se ne pa pogo do ta baba to so lo thombo na ga te gemona chi gema to try ke jare gemona chi tene saya thiana da chala na to nanga sa na ka gemona o na cha chal pa bi pin ja ta sa ya o tene o no lo ndra ba to ka lo sa hol ma bi ni chi nga chen ma to kon the khan ro se ta tene o si ba ngama ga no ji tene ten te zi o sa ma de.
My parents considered the Chinese as very bad people, and they thought that the monasteries would be safer, and thinking that they took all their important and valuable things to the monastery where my paternal uncle lived, and the grains and other things were all stashed underground, because I think when the Chinese came earlier, they had robbed the people of everything, and which was why they were doing this. But this time they didn't do it.
What did they do? What did they do in your community from the time you were 12?
아니 그슬라 공로 중기 인디가니 개미레로 알아. 에 개미기 가르치여래.
자미 디디치 제가 말에 아트가스 그 마바 마가도 다 마세 메신 바다보도 되네 딱 아마 몰해요. 딸 자세한 도 테나 되네라. 소데지레 마도 엄마엄마 땅에서 배슈가 되면 땅에서다 주주 제소를 다시 고민다스 돼요. 사야라. 간질로 말. 단도스 레가 됐더니 고민다서 되네 뱀버도스 칸로 파진로 마마도스 카톤이라 되네 코수시에 돼요.
So this time they did nothing, and they just took fuel or grass for the horses, and it was the nationalist Chinese that were there in our region earlier, and then they fled when the communist Chinese arrived.
So this time they took nothing but fuel or
Grass.
grass.
다 kunzu 다른 태문이바 윤두간에 kun주기다 메싱 더버딘데다 싸딘데 마시 가리키요 마로.
커요. 내가 나 커서 나 먼저 르마 노노를 배워가다 뭐지 되는 요라다. 다 뭐지 더서 다 되는 짜도 치 메시도 되는 제가 그래서 다 마사 마트 자거디 대파나 바트에서 뼈못지 자밀 바트에서 요라.
Yes, and the leaders of our village, they told their people that we had to provide the Chinese with grass and fuel, and that's what the people did.
Okay. So, and that's what they did. And so, because you didn't leave. You were in the monastery at this point till you were, I think you said 18.
Yes.
18. So, did you go home? Did you see any other changes in your village besides the leaders saying to give the Chinese grain and fuel?
Grass
and fuel.
Yeah. 아니 기슬라 디캅라 타 게미기 마게 타 게미스네 베베기 타 룽베뻬옴부 요르와 군주기 직 메싱 떼고레 아니 짜 떼고레 슬라바 마임바 셴바 아니 낭야윤도발레 규어 카리토요나 디캅라
셴바 디디 쳔로요 마레 카스 야부시오 이세니 바 마셀 따소 징기 이세니 대시에자이 되게 ချက်거라 당가서 신칼레한다고 던디를 커서 로바 온 거라 마마 동들어 마마서부터 디네 로발레로 나치가지 teni mama kaji chita ga chuna tela rambati loso mato teni kuchona chin cheyo marela.
So there wasn't much change then. For the Chinese, that they had come to help the people, and when we had field works, the soldiers came and helped. So they didn't, seize anything.
And then, when did your life change? You were in the monastery and studying, and what happened next?
I guess la gombe nalia ta chapi sin issue there wa and ta jua khatu chimbare ta mizi nala.
Kanis.
Ta gisla gombe nala issue there wa chapi sin chene. Ta gisla ge mizi nala jua khatu chingina.
다들 하사야 그지나지 하사 원이지야 나오지지 디지나가로 다들 파일 가전나 킬레까지 듀트런 자밀레까지 듀트런 되게 봄모야 또와다 다들 하사야 다사도 있으는 어서 잘라라 보기냐 시선시 오지래라 이제 지마지야가 이말라 되네 요보체네를 될 자자기야지네라 되네 진 봄모야 다 숨복하 모이가 되고 보기냐 시선시 세마세 오지래라.
Then the next change was when I came to Lhasa to study. At that time, because of the Chinese treatment, there were many boys that were being sent to Lhasa, and with many groups of merchants, and there were 20 to 30 boys.
Was there some reason the parents thought it was better to be in Lhasa?
And pamegi ta puzo ta lungbala debale hasal deba gagiris lani tinde chik gyumzen da wuch khari chaina tinde tengo
다 파일 자밀 야보서 사마렌다서 엄마 야보 제요 말이라든 뭐 취해서 마음을 친도 그래서 한다고 시기 열어라 로 취해서 가로 같이는 그래서 한다고 다 드니지 단다 가서 간 정보나 돼요 맞아 유마 야보 시 말했으니 되니 보고 뭐 사사야 또 거라 로정어 주디 제와야 뭐저도 로지디 조지에 오지시 단 예시 쳐봐요 진짜 먼저다 사사야 가래 지방 가지는 지바되니 자작기네 다 자도더니 남을 잘라기네 하기요래 다 충분해서 잘라 가는 거는 로바지는 요보저로 하기요래.
So the parents believe that the Chinese will not treat them well, and they might take the children away to join, to join the army. And they said that at present they may be gentle, but later on they will not be. And so they were boys in the age group of like 15, 17, 18, 20 that were, coming from our region to Lhasa with traders and their mules and goods, and along the way helping the traders.
So we're talking, you started, you set out for Lhasa. At what age were you again, and what year was that?
Geshe Lhasa la pedigane konglo khazu re sungre.
로 쪼지래.
직동 국제 가주 차기나 the 18 years old.
맞죠. 장가로 뭐지 전화 받은 같이 마시로.
No.
So 1954.
킹엘로 되래.
It was a year earlier to the year that His Holiness went to China.
Okay. That would have been around 1954.
마실. 지도교장 같이 마실.
Geshe Lhasa.
Lhasa.
Yes, it was in
그게로
1954.
쪼지래요.
And I was 18 years old.
18. And that was the year before His Holiness went to China.
아니 깜그런 무슨 로 야날 마핑에 로직면 라로. That's right.
로직을 했더니 제발 다 자사 놓이지는 로설리아들 제발 저주주요 말이야. pensosate 되네. 아니 휴제스는 다마 거서마 뭐중가 따다 맞으면 이디 그때 중가대 휴제 대바나 대소나 저주고가 디는 안 자로. 자산하신 드릴해서 기계라 사살로서 토자니 gemana 슈슈슈하러 다 제발로 텐디요 말을 네 바비 핀자치 제발요 잡아 gemare 어때서디.
So if you were joining one of the three great monasteries, whenever you arrived there you could get admission immediately. However, for the Gyumed Monastery, it wasn't so. There was a standard fixed number of monks, and then you had to wait until there was a seat available to join. And I had a paternal uncle at the monastery with whom I lived.
Okay. Before we hear about joining that, how long did it take you to travel from Karzai to the capital of Lhasa? And what was that journey like for you? And that would have been in like 1954. What was the roads like, the journey like? What did you see?
다 간제네 체닌 하사바도 페르와 디 투주 규링류 고르나
나니도 샤박사zen 건데 간제니 하사 말레바다
아니 디기 람가라야 직 칸데 중요나
랑가라 다 잡아놨더니 퇴치려고 저도 먼저 디바데 먹으시고요 알아 디바 먹어요 더니 디디 뭐좀 치아지가 잠이 닦이요 잠이 가르제 쉬어요 공차도 그러
잠이
잠이 대 잠이 하살해네 먼저 잘다데 컨저 디바 지선시지 오지를 맞소텔 될 잠이가 러르파자제센 티샤 주주기요래 다 잠이 쇼고 배샤 빠자제티 티티샤르세나더니 고트지 티체넬라 대 다니야 말에 맞 쇼가 되는 짜지어세니 쇼zo 그랬다대 잠이 가지고 쉬어
미신 숨주 십주지
디바 디코로 잘라기사.
So the journey took us 2 months and 3 days, and during the journey we did not meet any robbers because there were many muleteers, and with us were 5 to 6 Chinese, and they had machines loaded on the mules, and that was said to be for printing notes.
Like a printing press of some kind.
Tadi parlo tep di ngui parlo gyawiagi lakcha dindeina.
이제서야 다 고트지 요어 맞아. 너서 토요 말어. 제가 건저 야기 마빠기들 대 휴지 자도 자도 봐 유슈고라. 자도 끼래게 대 대쇼 다죠 말마 때는 티셔츠고 요하sen 시tin 무슨 토요 말이야 먼저 지 총바라 지자가 맞다 뭐 도수 가가 돼.
So these they were square-shaped boxes, and normally when we were transporting tea, the tea boxes would be thrown down from the pack animals. But whereas these boxes, they said to be, set down gently because they contained machines.
And the machines were for printing. Were they ammunition or guns? Or was it something for printing books?
Ta misi anda dinala di chegala kyungyo jorwa dunzuji ke ti menda dabodinde maina ya ngu soyagi parlo gyayagi misi ina
ta rese 근데 맞다 근데 세상을 지고 이만 잠이 그지 맨다를 커요래 맨다 주지 잠이 가지고 티 맨다 커요래 되니 당서 주마서가 맨다 커요래 강기 맨다 소소하게 쉬어래 주마서가 맨다요 되니 자지 공께서는 지고지 커요 말에 다와지 계속은 그래서 어디 잠이 잘라서도 되니 다행고 뭐 끼워라 컨설팅을 되게 됐어 다행도 오지를 맞다 저번에 뭐 다들 티차 와서도 나니야 말만 좀 돼요 안에서네 빠져서 가요 안에서 시티요.
So that's what they said. They said that these boxes contained printing materials, and as for guns, the 5 to 6 Chinese were armed, and so were the merchants. Only the those who were going to join the monastery did not have any weapons.
So there was no robbers, no danger, some Chinese soldiers, and what was it like for you? You were about 19?
Yeah.
What was it like for you for the first time to be leaving, your home, your smaller village, and going so far away, and seeing the mountains of Tibet and the valleys, and how did that make you feel to see your country like that?
Ta gisla di kavleya susu chongsep chinju dine thema thangbo thengyu yorwa en thene pe tharungbo phe du yore tharungbo phe du gane ene susu lungbe gi phe gi rida ani lungba ta chajang sigi yorwa en de gisla gi ene chowa khande de chungyu na
근데 치슈이 같이 나와서 시보셔는 하지 마다 시자지 100일발 100코로나 돼가지 되는 하지 다리 보내서서 나지 파마스고 하려가 때려 봐 기사용 시보지 그래라 다마서 레버코로나도 되는 하지.
So I was young and I was happy, and yes, it did seem very far away. And when we were leaving, there was this tradition of our parents coming to see us off.
Do you remember your first sight of Lhasa, and what was that like? Can you describe it?
And gisla da thangbul hasal jorwa and Lhasa thengma thangbo lungba de sidu gane and gisla di tensu de khande tabuji gisla soina
so zuwa kote to monima 편본을 말해요 말이야. 답변이 쇼지는 세대 나지 가는 세대는 편본을 말해. 근데 다 오지토서 더 말해. 근데 제 보러서 배 영어 치고 뭐 받더니 파일 때는 토만유가
가만히 얘기를 했지 보다라.
네 오지토세네. 단다티 토자 펜비 골라 마 하나 마테사스 단디나다 자미티소 티나세는데 마시 파세 티나 자미 로후츠라티 디마테니 자포는 이거를 되는 라살라 줄라고도 자비 먹어지 파 뱅오지도 데마이가 때파 세가도 치고시 파 근데 라사세데 레이사스테 레사드가로서 자투로요 말에 원래 조지 간로를 마도 밀륜으로 세라데 시티나 되는 뒤알라 하살해야다가 자마트는 원래 저 니산도 가세네 너디마 빠데사다 에 답바 총바서도 강하로 좋은 이간도 그래요. 저거는 꼬라지자
만드는 같이 일래.
밀륜으로 세야라데 시티어라 밀륜으로 다 이만 봐 이거 말에 세야라 She did not do that.
So we came through the north, through Nakchuka and Pempo, and nearby Pempo there's the place called Wojithang, from where you can see the Potala Palace. And then we went to the Tsuglakang and went circumambulating, because it is said that as soon as you reached Lhasa, the first thing was you unloaded your stuff, and even before you had a cup of tea, you must go and you must go and see the Cho at the Tsuglakang. And if you didn't do that, later on you will never see the Cho because you may go blind. So that's what we did.
And the Cho was at where?
And Cho Tsuglakang na le. Yes, the Cho image is housed in the central cathedral.
Right, the Cho.
That's the Cho Sakyamuni of Lhasa. Yeah, the Cho Sakyamuni of Cho's image of Cho Sakyamuni that was brought from China.
And then what happened to you next?
Ani kisla jel khan chungra.
Babi Pijate Jabalio, Tessa Desh,
Gyumed Hazan.
Gyumed Hazan, Zadiamon, Allegini, Taki Shalmando, Tabadet, and it under Sopo Kemosio, Tedo, the little Monatan, Tasa del Casado, Jabalza Casas, Motan, Jabanzan Yani, and Jabanzar. But the Tasa Degan, well, Gadeno Carval, and Jima Gadela should be Joy.
So then, though I couldn't get admission, I went to Gyumed Monastery because my paternal uncle was there. And then I requested a divination from a Mongolian abbot, whether it was conducive for me to join the great monastery of Garden or Gyumed Hazang. And he said that Gyumed Hazang was better for me. Gyumed Hazang yagadu sungwa.
Oh, yes.
Correct, yes.
Can you tell us about Gyumed Hazang? What kind of monastery is that?
Ani Gyumed Hazang ngo gomba khande jires.
Gyumed Lhasa yare, Lhasa. Zua kone pa ta nyembo re.
So Gyumed Hazang is located right in Lhasa and is very close to the Chokang.
And what Buddhist sect is that a part of?
The Gyumed Hazang Nangbasangi Pewegi Chulu yorwa. Chulu Kadi Kungdo ligi yores.
Gelu bikudure. Chilu gelu bare.
It's part of Giluk sect.
And tell me about what the requirements were, if there were any, for entering that monastery.
Ani Gyumed Hazang aliya zuyagi thendala roa kishla. Ani kare gugi yore.
Ta del peja mol onzi chegaro. Peja mol onzi chentni anzan.
Tangune lonzi che char yo gugi roa.
Losa chesa go yore.
So in order to get admission into the Gyumed Hazang, you would have had to memorize many scriptures.
And had you done that already? Or is that something you are beginning to have to do?
And kislage lonze dunzo nang chayo do shina nang gyuina.
Paine mo de sarela. Paine mo zi sarela.
So most of these scriptures I had already studied at my local monastery.
And how long, when you got the advice to go to that from the oracle, when you got that advice, did it please you, or do you wish you could have gone to Ganden?
Ta kislage anda sobu kembujila mo gyeon sungro. Ani mo gyabne ani
Rasa deo de jime
de the gyume se de gyume la de na ya dos mo phabrwa. Di phabdi kane ani kisla thukto reswe yanchi Ganden la phende dobichi yona.
Ta jaba degi me shombo deo ro abi bijaye tikte. O rasa den phai chibare ma to bibinya ro ke samay diga jaba den ya pon de so sana che che so.
So I was pleased to be at Gyumed Monastery because I had my paternal uncle, while at the Gyumed Monastery, though they were people from my region, I had no relatives.
Can you tell me what happens next in your monastic? When do you get into the monastery, and how does that happen?
다 계슬라 다 제라 타자나 카드 추이나.
로 찍을로 된지요 이래 쪼jel이야 용어라 내 찍을로 되지 말은지 찍근에 되는 예시 로 예시 자지 받아 로 주의지 되어로 지발.
So I came there at around 18, and then I think I joined the monastery when I was 19 years old, and I was there till age 24 for 6 years.
And can you tell us about what the practices were like in that monastery?
아니 간다 규메 타자나라 슈르와 데 슈베까블야 아니 카레카레 나요나.
다 주제 제가서 빼야 주제 제가서 제 다운로니 이제 썼는 주지 제가래 라데 마타 바다 라데 타선트네 주지 때는 길루세데 다로 나바 지방 나발트네 길루 콘도구라
라데스나
다 샤데 중게 세자신게 또 사바 저가다가 샤데 중게는 내가
아니 당부 익제 시당난 거와
나래
아니야 주그르와 아니
근데 이제 니바지 동가
익제 니바시당
니바도 데레선트네 라데 탄 샤데 탄도 요라 되네
아니 다 찰리나야 고주그르와
다 샬레트네 지네다 gelüti 사선트네 지네다 찾아갔다 대전로 잡아 치도 공개 로트 마다데 치도 로데 가라지 바나시나 당저 로트 바디 키요 제가디
아니 로 안다 라데 로 하즈난 거라
라데 로치즈 데그지
로직 아니
대지 라데 타네라 gelü 마코 바데로 니즈 한로지레
겔롱 마코
gelü 마코 단다 게스저 데요
So there was first one examination after you were admitted, and then you had the second exam, after which you had to, serve the monastery in, for a year, like serving tea and so. And at that time, you just had the novice vows and not the actual monk vows. Then after around the 6th year of your being there, you took the gelong vows. Lo thupa dilaya ani gelong damba shuru.
Mare long ava jiwal phase gelu damba sharala.
Oh, sorry. By around the 4th year, you would have taken the gelong vows.
So if you entered,
lo jiwal gelu damba sharala. Then long ava lo delta. 다소 그 체녀다 저발은 와 체녀 저바셔다 세아도서 다 시조도 세소치야 돼요라
간데레 있라 나기
와 콜다 산디비 콜트네 시에조도 되네 저바셔다 세다 디소 체녀 노데 도서 강로 롱아바 다 저발은 롱아바로 디셔지레
나기 배저장야 차배장야 So by the 4th year, you would have taken your monk vows, and from the 5th year, then you started your scripture studies of the tantric scripture studies.
And so if you were there for, from, let's see, 18 to 24.
19 to 24.
Excuse me, 19 to 24. That's 5 years. Did you start your tantric studies in the 5th year?
그래서 공로 주군에 니섭시보다 비게 슈르와 다 주군에 공로 나바딜래야 아니 하기 차비시네스야 고주 아니 디젤라
다디 이제 다 로트발레들 되네 다치 시도 보기 좋아라 로 아니 자지레 차
So when the 6th year began, I was 24 years old, and then I had to escape.
Right. If you had to escape, it would have been like 1960 when the 6 year. Okay. At 24, you had to escape, but it had been right after Lhasa was lost.
아니 kisla khonglo nisapshi la trepe yona ani Lhasa shorbegi lapsan di jele ya chudo pevrel
nisaj tharol 당어서 지메데 로 지발은전에 로 주 말레파다 님바 따반도데가 파치레 gembo카 모고요 지메 달달 초소 친예제네 파진로데한테 마도 대사실 다치도 샤보 쫑아일 하 대사요 말이라 근데 오 예다선도 다치들 샤보 쫑아제 드니 데네 다단다 치도 발음한테 로사 찬이라 근데 다 옆에 잡아샤니 쇼스들은 평본을 안 넣어가서 다치도 코마사케 소리 다 로주 마츠케스 강가
쇼레래
너 쇼스에 다 평본을 평본 쇼스에 평본을요 바 벨다 벨마 가데 카드 쳐박아 봐래.
So in the Gyumed Monastery, after your admission, till the 6th year, you could not stay in one place for more than a month and 15 days. And there were many monasteries that belonged to the Gyumed Monastery, and you had to, keep moving among these monasteries and then attending prayer assemblies and learning the scriptures. And then it was after the Tibetan New Year, in the second month, that we were at a place called Sho in Penpo.
Before we hear about that, can you go back and explain to me, you could not stay in one place. Was that a Gyumed Monastery or any monastery for more than how many days?
A month and 15 days.
A month and 15 days. Okay, so roughly 45 days. What was that rule about? Why was that tradition there?
아니 기슬라 단다 gyumed chazan chikpo ina khaisna saja chikleya dawa chikda nima chyengasda nima shivshangasrwa nima shivshangale manga shu ma choya jidwa chik dikshidi khan diktim dawdi khande rajina gomba chikpo gi ina ya gomba shemba choge dinde yona
요마 다 지단이제 집안아시래 지대오든 지도세데 바 친대지니 다오 내바지다 친예지디 르바데네 다 호수지 샤라시 샤부 정하세데 디나 멀코비나 샤부 정하데 디니 세란데 디니 바 메고타존나 다 디니 게마요와데 르바지 자조 소소사 게마르 디노 친예지야데 소소나데 엄마 디니나 쇼진 수연되다 엄마도 데이사레 저다라소나 단디는 내가 되지다지 란티다 잡지 좀 가지 전 뒤차티 때가 딜친이 되노 되는 현다 저다 현다 신 대사 반도니 어디가 초초지는 도발라 천년시야 되사라 내게 매친 파진로 되만 내지 못해야 되니 사람.
So this rule was there only in the monasteries of Gyude and Gyumed, and this was called Choethok, and so you moved from place to place. Like for example, from here in Hunsur you might move to Bailakupi, and then so on and so forth, And in the long ago, I think it was because in one place the monastery found a patron that fed the monks for a month or 15 days, and then you moved on to and found another patron who fed and took care of the monks for a particular number of days, and so on and so forth.
I see. And when you stayed at these other places, were they monasteries of the same sex or any monastery?
다 gesla number chota gomba chikne chikla phedigi yora nima shibju shanga and gomba dunzu ya gyumed chazang gi gomba re ya gomba shemba
gyumed chazang gi ma ro re nonghu de da khala zo sa ronghu de yong re la ronghu yora jaki sa ge koba de do nonghu ama de yora ma de ne chirano peti jasa chi chirare re yora ma to ji bana re de chomo de ne jecho shiwo yo ma de 다 때라 다 마데르 중케드네 코와 중케드 야야라 다스 다 티바자나 되네 주는 거서 봐 제닐라
아니 타바츠 슈사
때 주셀 되네 마다 네마 동문이가 돼 마다 되네 등어야 자니 마마 티바도 소주니까 제 대사요 말 소유코로 노코로는 아마 니니라 이거 너만 이제 샤타 비제 비들이 요 말을 가가 계계 받아서 막 나오기는 많이 이야기해. 마도 로시 코로다 가래.
So all these monasteries, they belong to the Gyumed wherever we went, and they were not grand monasteries. They would be just be a kitchen, a hall, and a chura where we did our prayers. And if they were not large, and normally when no monks were there, there would be the caretaker who took care of the building and repaired if there were any, damages to the building. And when we first arrived, we would stay in the village. And then from the day the prayer assembly began, the rule was that we would remain in the prayer assembly day and night. And the monks of our monastery could not remove our robes and lie down to sleep. And we always slept right there at the prayer assembly hall.
Oh, so that when you arrived at another monastery, even though it was a small one, you would begin a prayer ceremony and stay in that position. Were you chanting or were you reciting text? What were you doing when you were in that prayer? And were you by yourself or was there somebody with you?
Kisla number zota longba chigna tha longba shamba chig gomba chigla phegirwa tha gomba chunju darwa gomba chunju yimba inege tha chig sosu gomba dinala choj chogurwa chodu gane tha mi mangle yore ani cho be kable ya tha demba kyor ni rang shu de gore khari chungire
다 소소데 배절론지야 다 배절론지야 마사 가서 제 가로라 제 차서 그래서 고녀를 지네 근데 지라세데 소소 고춘주 도까지 약간 아센트니 요래 약간 면서 땡카도 시카도 선조서 되지를 도까야 말마다 지라세니다 제쇼주쳐서 고춘주를 줘야 돼 되는데 슈사 대세 근데 라바다가 니산로에 사선 나오게 맞다 다 니지선은 소론로 때마다 개요 말이야 맞다 무슨 니지 표에서 하나 chen 루시요 말이야 너디를 걸어 나오게 등하데 그 내딘 등하데디 걔 나오게 제 상당히 되게 봐야가 맞다 공에 자세 하나 때문에 책공지 다 되고 싶어요 근데 저로 주지 반도데 가
딩아체
근데 나오세 되지 계셔래
딩아스나 단다 딩이야
그것이 뛰어들래 나오고 다들 샤디 존한테
야
아지 돼서 기기수 개근도라 근데 제 샤다이 진짜 별 너무 주저마다 레시아디 제 루시오 말어라 제 샤다 간 땡과 매우 그렇게는 너무 주주디 좀 뭐요 근데 근데 내가야 자차선 통곡해서 지내요 말이야 고시야 주준로데
가발라
다 소소산 대화에는 샤드니 주세 봐서 되어나 다 자기사나 떠서 어떠서 봐진도데 홍보치는 개사요 말이야 고시야 주준로데 가서
정세다 공부니 바라
공부니 바라서
So during these sessions, prayer sessions, you memorized whatever scriptures that you had to memorize or you meditated. And during summertime, there were tiny little homes which did not have roof but had stone piled walls, and you stayed there. And the monks moved about, with not many things. You just had to have the dinga, which is like a mat, and the dora, which is like a gown you wore on top of you, and there were no pillows, nothing. And so you did this for 6 years, and when you were moving around the village and the monastery, you had to walk barefoot.
Oh, it sounds like a very austere life, Geshe-la.
디 미집에 깔래하고 저지게 여사로왔어.
네, 깔래하고 싶어서 로트를 비쇼 다쳐서가 깔래하고 싶으시는데 너데 가셔라.
Yes, for 6 years it was an austere life, a difficult life.
Very difficult life.
그 실로는 뉴기지 사선들이 군다치네요 다마래. 그래서 전주 전도디 가로.
So as for food, you never ate after lunch hours. You never eat dinner.
Did when you made these journeys, like every 45 days, a different place? Did somebody were you with another monk, or by yourself, or a group of monks?
Ta gisla anda saja jingne chigla ta nyama shu shenga sla phedigi yorwa di phedi gane gisla chepore rokpa shemba chik yore ya rokpa manglu yore khande res
mombo yor tatin pashi ti chitu kose ditin ro denketel taba nijal hazire ojire nijal hazir tatin geshi saban zosun tasanne geshi inanda ten lama inanda chiban rogar dodi khya do tene thongko ke machuwa do te cho ni ga ka chibadel 당가서 제이 가도들 자보 라디오라 자보 라디 맞아 그저 디투스디 자보 디투스는 지어래다 또 치도 공개래 제발 전부도 미세스 신이오다만 계시 하루 다산에 되는 시험가 게주 계시 다 트비고 뭐 용케이나라 제발 배가디 녀마 니즈 롱가 도가사다 녀마레즈 도 소소 도디칸 로지레 마도 때 따다 때니 찍고 시사요 말이야.
So during these journeys, there were many monks that went together for the choethok, maybe over 200 monks. So even if you were, Geshe Haramba in one of the great monasteries, or even if you were an incarnate Lama, when you joined the Gyumed or Gyumed Monastery, there was nobody was given any special treatment, and all new monks had to carry their things on their back and then walk for 2 days or 1 day, and then everyone had to observe the same rules of no footwears.
But when you arrived at one of those little houses that belonged to the Gyumed, were you coming with 200 people, or with just yourself or one or two other people?
Ta gisla ta lungba shemba chigla jorwa lungba chigne ta gomba chimbushta yo marwa sporwa gomba chinjun dabuche ne tapsan chedeli dabuche yorwa de pheptu kane khatu inege chaba nyigyas nyamdo jorgi yorwe
저는 년 조가 다세 단다와나서 체세적 가려마도 단전님 봐 호수나신 로기나 호수로 타리 좋아이마도 된 로기나 체세 될 달려 제기서 내가 뛰는 거 있어거든 내가 될 줄 사로가 내가 사바요 개바 사바를 내가 자가로
딩알라나
다 단다 데스 대하자 또 손에 소지게 되도 막한 실로 막한 데서 기발 가게자지라 소녀 소소디 내가 대하자 초대 그렇게 와이나 개막 간가 초대 자수요 알라 오 초대대.
So yes, all the monks had to arrive around the same time that we would be told to arrive at a particular place, and then you spread your mat, the dinga, and then the prayer assembly began.
I see. So it was quite a large gathering that would move every
45 days.
45 days, like almost 200 monks. Is that? And then who would feed all these monks?
아니 gisla 타 사자 찍네 찍래 패디 간에 타 잡아 니기스 냠도 패디기 열와 타 사자 찍라 조르테 간에 gisla 아니 데 잡아 니기스라 아니 소제 셀라 수난기 요나 사자 데라
대나 레 사자 마다 로건도디 소소소레 다 잡아 니자지 다른 디네 등아 태안디네 호순 로거나 호수 게마친 로거나 다디네 마 림베진 로야디라 롱가다 자나게 대저건다 도주도주는 지요래 도수소디 작도기 별 모시 빠져 사지라 마다 센다만다서 되는지 요즘에 되거든요. 만데 자디기 사선 자소소자 데 맞추지 작기로 있어도 기용 그러다 메시도서 콘서 또 하마도 자즈 마소소자 자 오존이라 되니 빠사다 되니 온로디라 도서 메시를 맞 어지르티 된저자지래
엔 파게 조르기로와 gisla gomba ta gomba shemba de jorgirwa
Ori.
and de in de gomba le shu ka la ya shela su nangi
다 게 다소로 지거라. 다 좀만 소소 칸도 가. 가방 돈나로. 다 자데 거도 다 탑바데 거도 자소도 오그래 마도도 너시 너마지를 다 쇼케 닝군이 쇼케를 빠지사더니 세저와지를 빠지사기는 근데 지세 중에서 탑바나 또 사선 때마도는 요 말이야. 다 자소 탑바데 또 자데 다 대니 또 가마도 지 말이야.
So you walked along the way in you know like line by line, and you had groups among yourselves when you stopped by the wayside and perhaps went to a family and asked for hot water and then made tea, and you had your own butter and you carried your own tsampa, and perhaps when you left the family you paid for the fuel, and once you reached the next monastery, you always carried your own tsampa with you wherever you went, and the monastery might provide you noodle soup and tea. And you had tea in the morning along with a tsampa, and the same thing you had at around 10. And at 12 o'clock for lunch, they might serve noodle soup and tea, and that was it.
And that was it. And the prayer ceremony. Was the prayer ceremony, did many people come to this prayer ceremony?
You mean lay people?
Yes, lay people. Did many lay people come?
Ani kisla tanda saja chikla jorwa en deleya ani ya sokpa je chogurwa sokpa chobe kableya ani mikya phomo dinre mangbo yunggu yoro
거 말을
chabatyang
자와죠 요 맞지 거요 말. 다 띵어서 마 세부디네 마 샤려온 거라. 디디 실라신 다 마샤 보면 강가 야열디네 돼요.
sha kawaye kisla
네, 다 세부디신 다 마소 티디 다오 연다신 로거는 본디 로자 그러라. 디디 야열 단지가 신게 마차 보면 도저 온 거를 마도 소소할 때 전토요 말이야.
No, not during the prayer ceremonies. No lay people came there. But after the prayer ceremonies, when the monks were leaving for the next monastery, then people came to see us.
I see. Wow. Did you stay the entire time doing this?
Ani kislata lo thu ji phage shurwa gyumed khazana. The lo thu changma dinde ran nang ne phede re.
어ter로 로트 마지 거든 너코는 코안도 돼 가서. 다 기시소라신 로치 마데 내가 말이야. 다산에 로모 대사이디가 다 저번 로치를 치도 강한 도시는 봐 차순로 돼 가서. 대 라마이는 기시는 세이는 미세치네요 말이야.
Logic mas phego mara.
로치 마도 기시스 노가 말이야.
Kisla number so lo thu phego.
어서 시르만에 로트에서 다 가로 시르니 있어요. 가로 계시소도 시르 봤을 때 사바얀자 게 대니 때 가로 시르니 있으니 다 가로이는 로지가 지도 권에 된리로. 시르만에는 로트로 가. 되지 말아라.
So yes, I did that. Had to do it until my 6 years was up, and however, you know, for those Geshe degree holders from the great monasteries, since they have spent many years in the monastery, they had to do the choethok for only 1 year. And so there were two different types of people, the Karam and the Sharam. The Karam were the people who were the Geshes, and they did the choethok for only 1 year, while we, the novice monks, had to do it for 6 years.
Geshe La, this form of leaving and going to the next place reminds me of stories of the Buddha and his followers who would go from one place to another, maybe teach people and maybe go to another place and count on donations of food from people who were better off or could support them. Do you think there was any connection between following in the footsteps of the Buddha and what your community did?
Ta gisla number sogeta dinde nangugudwa saja chigla pherwa and peduya saja chigla ya dinde chönang Any Dian such a Shambajila pay, any Dova Kaba pay we inegeta, Mimang Dindegi, Shala Pu, Dinde, any Morangi, Kadu Tongso, Lavena, Sangijum Dindingi, Mitinala, Dinde Mambunangi Duas, Dinde Nang such a Jila pay, Chu Sung Ya, Shala, Dinde Pungegi, Nange, you do, the church, Chihuahua, the Gisla number so Naya, the Peji, any Jumden Dengi, Nambadi, Tawuchik, the Dedaji,
Ngama Tindi Sarata, Ngama. 다 지가 호수나지 무슨 충분하 지가 된대신에 치수지긴 호수로 시라데 깊이 대 샤부 차선 때는 뭐 연다 연다지 치니라 되는 도안에 차지되나 지서로 거마 다시 맞았더니 다 좀바서 그때 다소로 포장 그래 다 좀바서 내 뭐지 가라 그래서 그 치토를 다 치토 샤부 쫑아 되고서는 the Dachi de Decasal, Telemos, Dachi the Shabuchonga Decasal, Boss Ozer, Tapel Bossedi, Chumoshiara, or take poor Janet, that did then Somata. The side a Janacas don't get him out. Chat the Tapadecas Juto. That's somebody the Juma Puja, the Somatanilla, but they can't do the car.
Yes, I think earlier that was the idea. Yeah, because you went from one place to another wherever you found a patron and who would be who would feed the number of monks there, and later during our time the monastery would ration out grains for us to make tsampa, and depending upon how long the choethok duration was, so if it was 15 days you would get a small amount of grain, and 1 month or 1 month and 15 days you might get about 3 measurements of grain, and that you made tsampa yourself, and tea and the noodle soup was provided by the monastery wherever you went.
And Geshe-la, if you moved every 45 days, in my calculations, that's about 8 times a year. So were you going to a brand new place each time, 8 times in a year, and then the next year brand new places? Or was there a repetition of some of the places?
Takishla, Nima Shibju Shangas la such a Jibuki or wall. Did it chair Vinata logic la Tangma gates such a pugudua?
Oh, Kashimo
Tangma gay
Shabuchongas and make it the order. Kashi Daris, Kashi Shabuchongas and make it. Kashi Data reason make it a moment don't got it. Send it Sanjan don't got it. Sarah, Rebu, Gade, let's tell it, Zepolo Sarandoka, Shabu Disease, Jesus, Zepolo. So, anybody. So
it wasn't always 45 days, because there were places where you stayed only for 15 days or even a week, and in that way we had to go and visit Sera Monastery, Depung, Gyumed Monastery, the Potala Palace, the Jokhang for 15 days, and so on and so forth, And let me ask the question. Neta saja mangbul pegi yorwa ta logic nanglarwa saja chik yangyo pegi rwe saja chik la ya ta thanda hunsu la phecha yonarwa lo dinal yangyo hunsu la pegi rwe
ta logic lo khoro ta kawai ter ma to yanda o logima yanda dosa chiama de ta da logic dosa no huna chiaro to so te ta logima te no chi no de kar
le saja chikla logic na thengma ni sum leg marwa
deshe yakachi de gakachi ni roka deshe se de tate su jami ga tache she sengdo ati gaden mas de hasan pacha paka phando ni tini gade male ko te lo chuma chimo yor tache mo se ati poro yor ati zu yor o te titi de lo gamba che te yakka gakani no yor
ya komba de min khare gisla
tache se tache uzona deshe yachi deshe se yakachi de gakachi ni no yor te kema te no
dichpoch
dichpoch tene peshe re
So across the river of Ganden, there is one monastery called Karze Monastery. In this monastery, you went twice a year, once in summer and once in winter, whereas in the other monasteries, you visited only once a year.
Once a year. Since you did that for 6 years, Geshe, what was the hardest part of that? It required the most commitment and strength to do of that kind of moving. Instead of having your home in one place, what was the most difficult part of having to journey so frequently?
Ane kisla ta lot thu ringala rwa kisla so nang sna tembu khone mewa en saja chingna chigla phe chini shurwa ka di nang be kablia kisla la kule khashu dabudi khare daji kisla chungyona
kale khashi de gakha de khigre gakha gadi shidon ro dir nyamani ro gare tri kubala chugu de hongo ne yabu keji omaro 배가 홍고 단다데 과학이 요르다데 대마다 작을 혼데네 전에 왔다 말에 대제든 오나지 짜드네 지르본 로마뉴지 대 추구 되는 시고 책을 그래서
간데 가와
가데 근치세 근카다 지지바 지지비 단주 지지비 종화 차는 거요. 되는 자부 종화되는 말레가
간데라
가데가
So the hardest part I underwent was during winter when we went to the Ganden Gunche, which was 15th day of the 11th month of the year, winter time, and we went to Ganden for 15 days, and the walk was for 2 days, and you did not have very good shoes, and then there were blisters on the foot, and it was very difficult.
I thought that you weren't allowed to wear shoes.
아니 kisla shabja dudu ganeya shabja chogoyora dingon
다 롱가도디 한국 계시고래. 답변은 내가 자사서나 되네 가와데 놀러 가와 패거든. 한국인 가사요 말이.
So on the road you could wear footwear, but when you reached a place and you placed your mat in the prayer assembly, once your mat was placed, then wherever you went after that, you could not wear footwear. But when you moved to the next place, you could wear footwear to walk on the road.
I see. So when you said you did that for 6 years, and then what happened to you?
Gislata lo tu dinang chudo pen shurwa and DJ gisla karichungina. The lo tu gijela karichung
저는 다 자가세 내가를 제 마지막 그 기사 마지막 걸로 됐다 자가지.
By then it was 1959 and I came to exile to India.
Can you give us an account of how you escaped? Tell us what happened.
Gisla 주 페야 디기 꼴래야 데스지 숭로나 주도 페야 디추 갸갈 주도 페야.
다데 쇼스 단다디 펜보 쇼스 디는 것을 치도 초대데 라사 쇼 산디위세네요. 계자 거기데 라사니 잡아 gem바다 라마제바 gem바도서 라사네 저 잡에 메주바 제 보는 또 사오서 봐봐 시고 자스다 라사는 봐 메주자는 시 뭐뭐 세수세 그거 먹을 해요. 될 해가 됐더니 먼저 쇼를 del로면이 되는 다시 조보사 기내를 하고 있지. 하고 단다 치시대 돌아서 그것도 되는 자주 gem바지요래. 대 치도로 가마다 대 gel라데 자주 gem바 다보지 않느라 대 경보대 자주 산 자지메 자주 또 일로 주시어. 다 딘로긴 다 gem바지요가 또 하산들이 gem바 비가 되게 말어. 되네 로가질레가 되는 하사 둘로가 되는 보라된 로기슈라.
So at that time we were on our choethok at the show in Penpo, and some senior monks of our monastery who had been to Lhasa arrived there and told us that Lhasa was lost, and that the potala was shelled and many people were killed. But we didn't take it that seriously, and we crossed the river and went into Lhoka, because at Lhora Songoguto there is a branch monastery of Gyumed Monastery. So not thinking the situation that serious, we went to the branch monastery, and then later situation became worse and worse.
What happened to you? Tell me what happened to you.
아니 내단 독자 레디오 인 디qabla 아니 기실라 가리 중이나 다 규메 타장기 파겔이 야라 델라 호라 생가 고돌 페라 엔디네 기실라 가리 중래
티 로그 튼 다틴지 기시어라 하한시 텔레디 조 파기드니 테 라모시시사 또 티안도 티니시다 자마노네마 야리 포노 세데기어라 다 조보 조지 유시냐마 더서 야류노서 또 렌도디 로하골더니 Didn't she go to the Lochuas Mamma de Lo Gambaso Tang and Pan Roshuseni? That was Tangazo Lochua to you, Mamma de Hashira.
So then we moved on from Lamo to Gyamar, Yalumpodang, and Lhoka, where the Chushi was, and they told us that the young monks were to join the Chushi while the senior monks could carry on. And I joined the Chushi Gangdrug.
What happened to you next?
Any gisla Chushi Gangdrug na zune any kari chungyona.
The Yaluporo and the Yaluporo Maleko, so to Gombizal Hegdit, Gombizal was the Rangonimal Pagadi, that's to Gombizal Jamigati, Magachani, Rokopaxin, Jami Mode or all. So you go to Kosovo, that didn't Jami Meju Jagasen, Kosovo shared their day. Then I was that in Michi Malega. Leg measure leg did measure leg did the positive loan you could now leg do. That Baba chose the jug did was it was your attention that the Jalo Dodiko Dodipena more thoughts on the measure Johnny and Mendag. The molestation share mother. The child said Palma Domato, measure Jan Romani in Tessing to say not. That in a minute, Tesso in men, that consequence is real coupon Jamie Motijade was a tone of my share leg. Papa Mowore Tati. Also can say Matat, Gadebado Tat, Joseph Badaba Mowish, Shiva, Tanga Ganilla, Tatini Yaliporos at Wadia, Tatina, then Mamma and Roni, Mabon, Chaco Deruchi Shuamare, Tenepa Sasuna Jitor, the Pando Magic Jamisi Shura.
Cavallo.
Tanos at the Vade, Tas at Tano Nepa. Tano. 다 재미있대. 당어도 세아마르대. 코리 먹어요. 마음은 다들 라자 그지 온게 유유래. 뭐도 먹고 싶어래. 왜 지가 그것은 야마데. 다들 뭐는 전에 또 하래. 저 라자 그지 매서서 들어가지 이래도라. 근데 봐도 어디 당어도 마음도 거는 근데 마가간 그때는 봐. 지도 집하고 신도. 내가 잠깐 되는지 되는 제 재미있게 도야만 돼. 찾아지야 내가. Loha Bada, Loha Jutu Bada, Shaja Tialegos. Taina Chigo to that Masesani and Karen Dosa Yazidu, that and Shah Somba Tajazina, that any Tijikanga Toto taken the Okazo. That Jajan, that Jamisano, Kajin Chito Power here.
And just before we reached Yalumpodang, at this mountain called Setang Gomburi, the Chinese were holed up inside the mountain, and the Chushi people feared that the Chinese would fire artillery on us. And so when they started shelling, you could, just move away when the shell fell, but when they started firing with machine guns, it was very difficult. And there was a monk with us who was carrying a load on his back, and they fired at him, and we saw that his load was in tatters on his back, but he wasn't hurt. And at that time when we started fleeing, there were many Tibetans together, and in the Chushi were many people, many kampas, but there were few people with weapons, and even though we joined the Chushi Gangdrug, we did not have any weapons, and then it became difficult to counter the Chinese, and we had to flee. And at that time, the Chushi Gangdrug had a stock of grains and meat that they had, and because they were also fleeing, they distributed everything to the people, and then we fled towards Tikutang.
And from Tikutan, where did you go? Is that in India?
No, in Tibet. And Tikutang ne any kawapere.
통통은 지금 샹가르 뭐지 자와파 된데신 게 치주고 좀 막아지 알아. 어떻게 마마 잔이에서 오사래. 저는 거기에 나지 무슨 파이지 버려 땜바다 지세한테 대수 샹가르 뭐지 전원을 켜야 돼. 코스도 오사러 와. 나 거기서 제가 파나 샹가르 뭐지 자가 사도를 받는데셨더니 저도 파조 수군 됐어. 배다 말 파조 수군 됐더니 거기서 제가 했더니 거기서 제가 거기서 제가 되는 땅 가서 뭐하대? 배모 뭐다 시도 파고 싶어. 다 건설로 되더니 샹가르 뭐지 수수를 되고 다 건설 맨다도 간 잔디지 매주래 맨다래 간 잔디 되게 또 까니라. 배가 다 라자 먹어서 걸 판도는 거지. 건설 율 되게 시거든. 근데 류아지 마주하러.
So at Dikutang, we met some members of the Chushi Gangdrug. I think there were about 100 or 200 of them who had escorted His Holiness to India and had been told by His Holiness to go back. And at that point, there were many Tibetans fleeing, and these Chushi Gangdrug men were armed with guns and artilleries, and they were able to resist the Chinese for some time until all the people could flee.
Were you among those people?
Excuse me. And one of those person was Tempa Thage, and his name is mentioned in His Holiness's autobiography.
One of those people that was part of the Chushi Gangdrug? Or one of the,
yes, who escorted His Holiness to India and was coming back.
And was coming back. Mm-hmm. And were you in that a group that the Chushi Gangdrug could then help escape?
Engisla ta tempa thage da Chushi Gangdrug mi tunzu phage lerwa e khunju gi gyamila tes takka thudu gane ani mi mangbo chhe thurwa engisla chhe thunge di nang la yona
re ta ngozo ta tian ro de ma ta gyamila raja khjiyo ma ta ga zo khozo ejite yali phorusa de le dini shulo se ro pa chen menda mo bo chi le dio menda kashin chi de zone le no zhen ma ni du ta ma yu de da so se ne kashi cha cha kana de du都是说就拿家呢，他往往是这样一米给家的，他拿家的有些，可能小孩子我们天多这个的呢，白家些就什么的，
加明年了来了，
加明年来的他，一些的拿家嘛，我就是现在呢，美国入钱呢，是不是来维系我啥的哇？但是怕没这了就嘛的。
Right, I was in the group that was fleeing because we had no weapons. At Yalung Podang, we learned that the Americans had helped and dropped many guns by a parachute. And since they were dropped from a height, many of them were broken, and at that time they were doing some repairs to the guns, which they said they were going to distribute to the people, but by then it was too late.
And then what happened, Geshe-la? What happened to you next?
Ani kisla la DJ la kharichungu na.
Tatini matrin sinansitin lo sabiga
La ani tata chepegi yoro
sido phago hiore.
Ni saja khawa joina.
Tene ma ngozo china jalo dile sasun china ngone ma shangero mochi xiaoyu se tene ma chuju no dio xiaoyu se de ta memba ge tene ma te loga debo ya bu ren de te jamilo se te agne te china de jami pora sin la ngozo ge di china pa loga tene rosa chin ma de ta shanda loga yanda chin ro wa de ten do di tene ma jami 这秀季节这年些嘛对我上嘛是咱们云嘛都没对是罗巴没对他罗比参加的嘛的咱们没没对是咱们中都是刚拉加个时候肯定都是的等我做里边的嘛那个的了他咱们刚人过来的我说了但是我是有的确实过去没什么来用啊他都是我就有啥但这个他就是这个的咱们没对当我说爸爸 뭐 쉬워지다 다시 뚱차 매서 오지래 자산의 그지도 다 마세도 강으로 내거든 라시안 키에체는 뭐도 다래 거저 율대 저기 마 매다나 자손은 이 거저야 자 저서 제한도쇼 내 말은 나는 단대 자지 못해 맞다 뭐 출라 쳐서래 무슨 뭐 뭐래 되셔 대서 디 자면은 뭐 뭐인데 거저 라가 되셔 거저 마 자그지 말이 자손은 거저 가대 자고스 거저 만 좋아 다 되는 보도는 말 원을 말이거든 자미가 니에 되듯이 라칼 니네지 된 매주나한테 찾고 이제 바바나 찾고 자마서 이만큼서 말래요 레거데 거저 유니치 자면 다 자민 유유지 되게 다 거저 자손은 거저 싸면 또 여기 있으네 거저 제거 주소 그래서 어쨌든 뭐 쉬고 타서 뭐 또 같이 뛰는만 다 오시래 나한테 타는데 먹으려고 해요 말에 다 뛰는데 뭐지만 뛰는 거 같거든 또 자가시 저사대 샤유스데 매일 저사치 뭐저거 사태니 있더니 망골라세 되게 써되는 거 산도야 자 벤스거디 샤유스 지레 망골라 때 뭐저거 설리와도 가서 지세래 또 나이나 매일 해디 뭐저거 뛰는 말에 샤데 때 공부조시 잡을 히어라
So we learned that His Holiness had left towards the tribal region of Memba, and when we arrived in Chena, it was already occupied by the Chinese, and we couldn't find a way through and had to look for another route. And then we were told by some nomads, there were many nomads there, who said that a group of Chinese, it was a small group of 10 to 20 Chinese who were armed and were up on the mountains, and we were like many thousands of monks and lay people fleeing and who did not have any weapons, and we were being followed by the men of the Chushi Gangdrug, who told us, that they would wait and counter if the Chinese started firing, and that we were to carry on. And then later they said that they found the Chinese sleeping on the pass, and there was no encounters, and we escaped, and the Chushi Gangdrug people also came later on. And because of their presence, many were able to escape at that time. And there were, I think, two routes, that led into India from Tibet. The one route was the Shayo, and then the other was through the Mangola Pass.
And do you remember the day that you made it that you left Tibet and came to India? Do you remember how you felt that day, or?
아니 기슬라다 페네 수 페다 디젤라다 야가나라 페버와 엔디 야가나라 페베니마디 탄다 기슬라야 텐소요나 조르베니마디
베다 섬비 단주 제제어지레 베다 섬마테디 샤다 칭크치요 마로라 베다 로자안도디 베다 섬바가 드리치라 야가 사도래요 다된 것도 매일 잘로들 산에는 야가 사수는요디 어떻게 밤에 도와지든 제주고도 다 거다 소리에 다시도 배워 먹을 리바든 돼요래 다 재미도 쓰기 쉬워 말이지 다 때때는 지만 같이 자갈 파 매일 판도니 샤초와서 그 좋아서는 샤르지 않아지 텐텐슬래요로 된 제주고도 단다 존스때 안주주다스 쉬어라 어떠서 좋대 텐텐은 봐 녀로사가 디질 때 배워간도 좋게려니 다 라작강도 봐 봐제가 면단다부터나 그러나 가자가 줄 파시테 지내라 되니 산자체는 맥해지는 되니 그것도 또요 다 상가는 뭐지 디디파나 폐 강차차가 되자가 줄 올려고 제요로 맞다디 마스 사수 마마 할래를 먹어도 좀 좋아하는 시요 되지기 전에 사긴 또 오면 돼요.
So I think it was around the end of the third Tibetan lunar month that we reached India. At that time, nobody knew how to, use the Western calendar. And when we arrived at the border, there was the Indian post there, but there were not many soldiers there, just 15 to 20, and they wouldn't let us through. And Then many of the Chushi Gangdrug, many Tibetan refugees, and also the founder of the Chushi Gangdrug, Andrew Kombutashi, arrived. And then at that time, His Holiness had already arrived in India. And so the Indians, they let us through, but everyone had to give up their guns and swords at the border.
Well, Geshe, there's much more to tell about your life, but you've been working very hard to recount a long life story. So maybe we can conclude by just asking you one or two questions.
Kishlagi mitsi lugu be sung ra thando sung de mangbo sung ya yo res ra thanga zu de jam shadow chi de yan tiwa jingni chi gu ya yo.
So, Geshe, how did it feel to share your story with us, which we are going to share with the world? And do you think that's a good idea to gather the stories of the old people of Tibet?
Ani Gishla tarin Gishla gi ngazula lugyu sung roa ta lugyu di ngazu gi ta jamning mi mangbo nyamdo la ya tengi roa la Gishla gi thuk la ya ta ngazu la ga cheba di ta khunglo che chugi mi ji lugyu dun zu chu duru che chia di khande da bo res kongu de Gishla gi
pe ya po re cheng de ya po ro dan de jamye la ngana ton ta mi thonyu ke ta ka lo le ke ta gembar지다 년년도 마서 싸래가 디케샤트스니 마오발마 배토야고 제노그라 맞다 다 마셔 자선들이 라시야 말에 때 마시고 됐던데 조토한테 저도 배 때마 자시랬더니 저도 깔리 장께서 배티인데 야부시라 되는데서.
So I think this is very good to record the stories of those who have witnessed and experienced the Chinese invasion, and it's very helpful for the future because once we are dead, the dead cannot talk, and you who are supporting the Tibetan dharma and the politics, it's very good.
And Geshe, what would be your prayer for the Tibetan people and for the Chinese people?
Ani Gishlagi ta melam kyongu yunarwa melam phewe mimang thendala melam kharina gyami mimang thendala melam kharinas
다들 저도 선제 다시 샤가로 지가디나 수도 야라라 다 자면도 배wan이라 제가 제발 시험만 맞아 저도 가 도시 시절에 때때 배대다가 저도 그러봐 이 메시지만 맞다 맨다로 자는 비기지 통로 이내 다들 컨트롤 마시서 샹가로 마시 수돼야 되제 선제도 이제 봐야 되는 아시죠 맞다 손은 제가 저거도 가인데 있다 시작되지 딱도 왜 쇼시는 비용하라.
So there is no difference between all the sentient beings as His Holiness teaches, and though the Chinese have used their power to drive us out of our country, but we cannot be angry and must believe that all sentient beings are equal.
I see. Okay, yes. So I'm going to ask you one more time just to be clear and sure how you still feel about this. But if this interview was shown in Tibet or China, would this be a problem for you?
Kisla diyan tiwa di tanda tsagala yangyo chik tangnang guguyore tangi chikda kisla shuza en kisla gine gyon yorwa dine yangyo chik shuba yina an tarin tiwa chilen nangba di ini pyo da gyana la tenba yina an kisla la kangi kari yorwes
강에 쉬어지 말지 강에도 시야 시야 말 나때 찾아야만 좀을 찾아지야 야시리 데려와라 강에 뭐 방에 지금 잠에서 뉴하고 자지리가 대랑알도 강에 태시라 쉬어지 말
So there'll be no problem. In fact, this has to be broadcast to the world because I have suffered under the Chinese.
Yes.
But there'll be no problem for me.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
Gisla taring azunyamdo lugusung badela tuju chenang.
아 다시